This is a 190 Q&A practice test. Plaintiff attorney, Mr. Arnold, capital A-R-N-O-L-D. Defense attorney, Mr. Lee, capital L-E-E. And we'll start with plaintiff attorney. Ready? Here we go. And so it's your statement that you are just going to leave those items out there. It says with the person that had it, well, what do you think? You agree with me, right? If you leave that gear, such as meth gear, out, that person most likely is going to use it again, right? Yes, and you know as an officer that drugs are linked to other crimes, right? Yes, sir. Oftentimes violent crimes, right? Yes, sir. Against people that are innocent, right? Yes, sir. It's your testimony today as you sit there on the stand that sometimes you just leave that person that has drug gear, oftentimes meth, laying in the car. Objection misstates his testimony, Your Honor. Overruled. Is it your testimony, sir? Yes. You're aware that's a violation of the policy of the Northview Police Department? Yes, sir. Is it your testimony today as you sit on the stand that you openly violate the police department's policy? I don't openly violate. It's circumstantial, sir. I'm not sure anything is circumstantial. You just stated, sir. All right, counsel. I'll move on. Please refrain from those remarks between questions. Yes, Your Honor. All right. You would agree with me also that needles are a biohazard, right? Yes, sir. There's something that could poke other people. True? Yes, sir. Okay. It's not your testimony, sir. Is it that if you encountered someone who was on felony probation, who you believed was high on drugs, and then you found gear with them, that you would also let them go? I didn't testify to that, sir. No, because you would not do that, right, officer? Once again, sir, given different circumstances, it might be appropriate to do that if someone's getting raped on the other side of town and I have a misdemeanor over here offense. I'm not going to spend time on that when I can help someone else from getting hurt. Absolutely. That's if you have knowledge that there's something else going on, right? It's considered a call for service, sir. Not just if you were going to go back and hang out with your buddies, right? Yes, you have the determination sometimes that there are other situations that are more important to deal with. Is that your testimony? Yes, sir. In those situations, maybe when those come up, then you decide to turn your blind eye to this misdemeanor crime to go assist with something much more serious. Yes, sir. Such as a rape. Yes, sir. You would agree with me. A rape is something very serious, right? Yes, sir. Okay. In fact, if you were going to go deal with that rape, you would want to immediately get that woman in the hospital. True? Probably, sir. Objection. Your Honor calls for opinion. Sustained as to relevance at this point. Would you ever violate the department's rape procedure? No, sir, because that's something more serious. Yes, sir, it's very serious. Okay, now you indicated that you work with Sam Clark. I have, yes, sir. You also have hung out with Sam Clark? Yes, I have. By hanging out, you've actually gone out and got beers with Sam Clark as friends, right? Yes, I have, sir. On more than one occasion. Is that true? Yes, sir. Do you guys have like a local hangout you go to, you and Sam Clark? I wouldn't say it's not something we go hang out to all the time. No, sir. Is there any different places you've gone to more than one time with Sam Clark? No, sir. Okay, when you were working, sir, Sam Clark was working on the southwest end. Is that right? What night, sir? Well, is it the night that we're talking about? Yes, that was his beat during that time. Is that fair, sir? Yes, sir. Your beat during that time was not the south end, right? No, sir. So during that time, you usually wouldn't go to the south end. Is that right? Right. No. But on that night, you had a trainee with you. Is that fair to say? Yes, sir. And so someone with a trainee, you wanted to teach her the ropes, right? Him. Yes, sir. One of the things that you do with the trainee. In fact, that was a question. It's one of the things you do with a trainee. You want to teach them. Yes, sir. In fact, trainees, they have certain training handbooks, right? Yes, sir. That you as a field training officer that are in charge of checking off all the different types of crimes so that they actually are trained on them, right? Right, sir. Included in that training handbook is different drugs, drug gear, right? Yes, sir. Handling drugs, right? Yes, sir. You've got to make sure that that trainee is checked off on that, right? Yes, sir. In fact, there's a book that you even have to check mark for drug packaging, right? Right, sir. Report writing, right? Yes, sir. Is it your testimony, sir, that, well, when you went to Holiday Inn, did you go inside on that night? Yes, sir. Okay, and it's fair to say that you were inside less than 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's fair to say, yes, sir. Okay, when you left, Sam Clark was still present, right? I believe so, yes, sir. Okay, and you didn't collect any evidence that night, right? No, sir. You didn't make any arrests that night either, right? No, sir. You weren't the investigating officer, right? No, sir. That's something that the investigating officer is in charge of, right? Yes, sir. One of the different things that they're in charge of, right, sir? Yes, sir. And who was the investigating officer on that night? I don't remember who was sent to the call. I don't. No, I know Sam was there, though, with his trainee. Okay, nothing further. Thank you, officer. Yes, sir. Any additional questions on behalf of the defense? Yes, thank you, Officer Lane. You're personal friends with Sam Clark. I would consider myself a friend. Yes, sir. Would you come in here and lie for him? Absolutely not, sir. And have you told us like it is as far as what happens with some people who are not always arrested? Yes, sir. Was it easy admitting that you don't always book a pipe when you come across drug items? No, it's not easy, sir. You know whether or not you might get some flack from your department for saying that. Objection, relevance, overruled. Speculation, overruled. I would hope not, sir. But you know you've admitted to at least some policy violations. Yes, sir. And again, was that easy for you to do? No, sir. And did you tell us that because it's the truth? Yes, sir. Mr. Arnold asked you about whether or not you would arrest somebody who's on felony probation. Let me give you some more facts as to whether or not you would possibly make an arrest in this case. If you came across an individual on probation who's expressed to you that she's trying to get her life back together, she has called the police for assistance to rid herself of individuals who are bringing her down, and she appears sincere in that case, and all you have is that maybe she's under the influence and that there are some needles in the house that cannot be clearly connected to her, but no dope in those needles, would you always arrest that individual? Not always, no. You understand that you would have discretion in that case? Yes, sir. Ever come across individuals in the course of your patrol who are driving on a suspended or revoked license? Yes, sir. Objection, relevance. I'll withdraw, Your Honor. All right. Thank you, officer. Nothing further, Your Honor. Any additional questions on behalf of the people? Just very briefly, you can take those needles and just mark them for destruction, can't you, officer? Yes, I can. Then you don't have to make any arrest, right? No, I don't. And you as an officer, if someone actually told you, like Mr. Lee suggested, that you're trying to get their life together, you wouldn't take advantage of that situation, would you, sir? I'm sorry, would I? You wouldn't take advantage of someone who's they're trying to get their life together. No, sir, that's because you took an oath to protect people, right? Yes, sir. All people, doesn't matter who they are, right? Yes, sir. Whether they're trying to get their life back together or whether they're some CEO. Yes, sir. And just correct me if I'm wrong. You indicated that sometimes you would violate policy, but the reason for that would be to go help someone, maybe something more serious like a rape call. Yes, sir. Is that right? Yes, sir. Nothing further. Additional questions on behalf of the defense. Officer, are there times that you might not arrest someone even if there's not a more pressing call? Hanging? There's been times, yes, sir. Are you familiar with the term spirit of the law? Objection, relevance. Write the word list. We have Northview, one word, capital Northview. Sam Clark, capital SAM, new word, capital CLARK. Holiday Inn, capital HOLIDAY, new word, capital INN. Lange, capital LANGE. And that will conclude the word list and our 190 Q&A practice test.